So we don't have quorum because of COVID.
Okay. Where'd it go?
So what I think I can do is just kind of bring you up to date on a couple of things. We just won't vote. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. So the good news is that we're going forward with the Hubley, the Linda Hubley scholarship. We spoke to her family. They're very much in favor of it. They're willing to go. They've sent a lot of information. What I'll do is type up this information so that the next time we meet, we can vote on it and go forward with it. Spoke to Jim Hagerty. He's walked us through the process, which is very easy. Also asked him to do some investigation, as we talked about getting, finding out how we can accept funds either through credit card, through the town credit card, or through maybe Venmo, so we can do some marketing around it, as we talked about it. She was involved with St. Matthew's, the Conservation Commission, Open Space, Southborough CERT. So one of the things I'd like to propose that we talk about doing is letting them know too, to see if they could help in terms of fundraising and letting people know about it. As we talked about, also talking to Beth Mello from My Southborough and letting her know.
And I reached out to the community share and care woman on the Facebook, and she's like, oh yeah, of course we can post stuff about the scholarship. She's like, that's what it's for.
Excellent.
So
excellent.
we can post stuff there.
That's great. Okay, so Jim said that he would get back in touch with me tomorrow about, so he gave us the steps. It's not that difficult to do for us at all. We just need to figure out how we're going to be accepting the funds. So he'll give us information on that tomorrow. He also recommended then that we go to the selectmen and just let them know, because as one of their committees, we need to do that. It also would help with additional publicity.
Isabel, is that something that has to be like presented in a meeting? Is that just an email? How sort of formal does that need to be?
Great question. I think it probably makes sense for us to go to one of their meetings, because then it'll be recorded. Great. And we'll get more publicity.
Great.
Where if we just sent it as kind of an email, it might be something read into the record.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And since, one of the things that we agreed as a committee really wanted to do was to let more people know about it. Mm-hmm. I think, in fact, one of the things that somebody else mentioned to me is that the scholarship committee is one of the best kept secrets in Southborough. So anything that we can do to let more people know that it's there. The other thing was, and this is something, again, we had talked about, is that Jay had said that setting up a Facebook page through the town website, and they would do it, would also be another way that we could let people know about the scholarship committee. The other thing is that when you do that, you can also set up fundraising through Facebook. So it could be another way where people would be able to send money directly into the scholarship committee.
Great. Very good.
Yeah. So other than that, I guess, the minutes and stuff we really can't do unless we get a quorum. One of the other things that we had talked about was other fundraising ideas, and like checking with some of the local restaurants, and maybe just going and saying, one night asking if, we just put it out there again on the news, Southborough, etc. And I haven't followed up on that, thinking maybe, I think we had talked about maybe doing something like once a month, like maybe Tommaso and Ola. But I'll follow up on that.
Just like what, like 1% of their earnings that night they would donate, or 0.5% or something. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So the idea of giving, again, with my personal feeling is, with COVID being what it is right now, probably doesn't make sense to do it in January.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a lot of dining out happening. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Or unless we did something, you know, on my Southborough or whatever, you know, like to order takeouts from Ola Friday night, you know, don't 1% will go like some, I mean, we could do that if one of the restaurants was up for that. I mean,
that's,
we could like, you know, take it the night, you know, however we like market it on Facebook or whatever, or however, you know, like take a night off from cooking, donate, you know, proceed, don't, you know, whatever, X% of proceeds will go to the scholarship committee. So we could do that with a, you know, we still could work with the restaurant, hope if they're keen on it.
that's an excellent idea. And I know a lot of their business right now has been takeout. So it'd be a great marketing pitch for them too. Why don't I stop down there and ask and see if it's possible, and then we can put it into notes and see if we want to go forward with it.
Yeah, I mean, even if like, maybe if we could get, it's January, so maybe one restaurant for February, one for March, one for April. I don't know how many,
Yeah.
whatever it is. So we're not overdoing it, but you know, like, you know, another way to, you know, help with scholarship fund, you know, eat out tonight or takeouts, you know, so try that.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea. I like that.
Yeah,
And then I
definitely.
think anything else you mentioned that Southborough Care and Share, we can certainly put something on there. I think also just any way that we can, letting people know that it's around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
So anything else that we can talk about that doesn't need a vote, doesn't need quorum? Any ideas?
I don't think so. Nothing's springing to mind.
Okay.
Does the, sorry, I'm just writing a note. Do we have, is there like a logo or anything for our group? Because I was thinking like, just as you're talking social media, like if us as committee members, or we could get some friends, if you put it up on like your Instagram story, you know, like just to start making people aware of it.
Brilliant.
You know, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that on my Instagram story, you know, it just goes away, you know.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if we could get some people to do that, friends, or I don't know, if we can like reach out to maybe a kindergarten mom, or I don't know, a high school mom who's willing to do it, who's, you know, has a lot of friends who are at Algonquin, something like, I'm just, yeah.
No, I think that's an excellent idea. The only logo that we have is the old one that was on the scholarship application. And then when we gave the kids their certificates, I'm trying to remember, somebody just pulled it from clip art.
Okay. I mean, like we could do something silly, like, you know, skip your cup of coffee and help a child go to college, or I don't know, or help pay
Yeah.
for college. Something like fun, you know, I don't know. I just, again, I think if we really, you know, all those like little $5 donations could add up quickly too.
I'm
Sure.
completely with you. I think that's an excellent idea.
So,
Yeah. So do either of you have any contact with somebody who's good in terms of graphic art?
I was just going to ask the same question. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I worked with somebody. My sister has a friend who helped when I was doing the SOS at Woodward to design something. So let me reach out. My sister might even be able to do it. I'm useless with, not Maureen, one of our other sisters.
Okay.
With that kind of thing. But yeah, let me see, because I like where you're going, Alexandra. The sort of like, what's the little little one graphic
Yeah.
grab for people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think that's a great idea. I've got, if you know of anybody or you have a student, I've got a subscription to Canva, which is for graphic
Oh, good.
art.
Mhm.
oh, yeah. I have
I'm
to.
not good with it. In fact, a past intern who's now gone on to IBM to these incredible, I mean, she's brilliant, but she introduced me to it.
I
but
know an
don't-
intern that went to IBM that's really good at that stuff. And I could ask her if she might have time for some pro bono work if it's the same intern.
That's exactly who I was thinking of. Yeah, so if you wouldn't mind just reaching out to her and just asking her, would she be interested in spending less than an hour putting something
Okay.
together like that? That would be great.
Okay, I'll
All
ask
Excellent.
her.
Good to have those
Oh.
connections. That's nice.
Yes.
I know she's very busy right now with work, but
Oh, that's
We'll see.
okay.
I'll
All right.
ask her.
Okay. So I'll just, write our notes, send it out to all of us, and then look for another date and see when we can all get together. But at least we're going forward.
Yeah, that feels good that there's, some momentum. That's great
Okay.
going forward. And thanks, Isabel, for keeping the ship
Thank you.
afloat.
I
I
know.
really appreciate it.
So we give them out in June, right?
So previously, a gazillion years ago, they were given out in May, and there was something done at the townhouse, excuse me, at the community house, a small reception. And then as life got crazy and COVID happened, we wound up giving them out later.
Okay.
But that is completely up to the committee. There's no requirement that it be done earlier.
Okay.
The only requirement would be basically getting the information out to the schools as early as possible, so that as many kids as possible would know about it and be able to apply.
Yeah. Yes. And we also want to have some money to give them.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yes. Yeah. And again, public record, so this doesn't take a quorum to say it. Funds to date, we have $1,157 in the coffers, basically just from people who've dropped some small money in. And then I think we're kind of looking at that as kind of the baseline and saying, where do we go from here?
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good evening, you guys.
Talk again soon. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.